Super Saiyan 3 is one of the most iconic transformations in Dragon Ball. In terms of design, it's one of the more distinct looking transformations. You have people who love the design, and you have people who hate the design. I personally really like the design, and I love how Goku puts on a deeper voice whenever he's in the Super Saiyan 3 form. It adds more seriousness to him, but I think that in terms of storytelling and the narrative, compared to Super Saiyan 1 and Super Saiyan 2, and even the modern transformations like Super Saiyan God and Ultra Instinct from Dragon Ball Super, I think Super Saiyan 3 was quite subpar and wasn't executed as well. And to feel that because of his massive drawback, it just feels like a useless transformation in the grand scheme of things. So in this video, I'm going to go through the problems with Super Saiyan 3, and why I feel it wasn't written as well as the other transformations in Dragon Ball. So the first problem I have with Super Saiyan 3 is that there was a lack of build up towards its transformation. This is a problem because if the form has no build up or no foreshadowing to it, then it seems like it came out of nowhere for the sake of the plot. This never happened with the first two Super Saiyan transformations however. With the first Super Saiyan, it was first name dropped at the beginning of the Saiyan saga, when Nappa and Vegeta were talking about Gohan being a human Saiyan hybrid with a lot of potential. We didn't hear more about the Super Saiyan legend on Namek by Vegeta during his fight against the Ginyu Force, and we also learned that the reason why Planet Vegeta was destroyed was because Frieza was afraid of the Saiyan's potential to become Super Saiyan. So then when we see Goku, a low-class warrior who survived the destruction of Planet Vegeta, turn into a Super Saiyan from the legends after seeing his best friend die, it makes that moment much more impactful. And it was also great for the narrative because Frieza was the one who destroyed Planet Vegeta to prevent any Super Saiyans from awakening, but then it was Frieza himself who was the trigger to Goku becoming a Super Saiyan, which is ironic. And that is what makes the first Super Saiyan transformation so well written. And with the Super Saiyan 2 transformation, this form has been built up ever since the Z Fighters were defeated by the androids. Vegeta said he needed to find a way to ascend the Super Saiyan state to gain greater power. So this is already foreshadowing that there is going to be another transformation that will go beyond the Super Saiyan transformation. And then later on, we see Vegeta gain Super Saiyan Grade 2, which is a branched version of the regular Super Saiyan, where his power increased, but it wasn't enough to beat Perfect Cell. And we also see future Trunks use Super Saiyan Grade 3 against Cell, where even though the power increase was massive, his speed was also sacrificed, so it wasn't complete. And then you have Goku and Gohan unlocking Super Saiyan Grade 4, which they were able to attain after their 1-year training in the Hyperbolic Time Chamber, but again, it wasn't enough to beat Perfect Cell. So then when we see Gohan awaken his Super Saiyan 2 state, it was another impactful moment because Gohan was the first one to ascend the Super Saiyan transformation after being built up since the Android saga. Gohan being the first ever Super Saiyan 2 also made sense narratively, because ever since he headbutted Raditz in the Saiyan saga, we knew how much potential Gohan had as a child, and we see more of it on Namek as well, during his fight against Frieza, and even Vegeta mistaking him for Goku after he got his potential unlocked by the Guru. So Toriyama was steadily laying out hints that Gohan had this massive potential, and that he could one day surpass Goku, which is what happened in the Cell games. And that's what made the Super Saiyan 2 transformation so great in terms of storytelling. Even in the modern age of Dragon Ball, most of the transformations were at least built up. Super Saiyan God was shown in a dream that Beerus had before he met Goku, and then they needed to ask Senran on what the Super Saiyan God is and how to attain it. Ultra Instinct was foreshadowed during Resurrecting F, where Whis was training Goku and Vegeta to learn how to fight without thinking. Ultra Ego was also hinted at the beginning of the Granola arc, where Beerus was training Vegeta on using destruction energy that the gods of destruction use. But then when we get to Super Saiyan 3, there was no build up or any indication of going beyond Super Saiyan 2 before Goku used it against Majin Buu. Maybe it could have been hinted at when Goku was training for the World Tournament, and during the fight between Goku and Majin Vegeta, Goku never used it, nor was there any hints about him having it in his back pocket, especially since the two of them agreed to fight at full power without holding back. So at that point in the Buu saga, I don't think Super Saiyan 3 was even thought of at this point, and it seemed to have come out from nowhere so that Goku would be able to hold off Majin Buu in time. Another issue with Super Saiyan 3 is the fact that Super Saiyan 3 never defeated the main villain at the end of the arc it was introduced in. This makes the transformation less impactful, because what makes transformation so special in Battle Shonen is that once the character unlocks a new form, they then defeat the antagonist, which makes the form more memorable and more important for the story. With Super Saiyan 1, Goku defeated Frieza on Namek, and future Trunks killed Frieza once he turned Super Saiyan. Gohan killed Perfect Cell after he became a Super Saiyan 2 with the father-son Kamehameha. Super Saiyan 4 Goku killed Baby at the end of the Baby saga in GT. Although Goku lost to Beerus after becoming Super Saiyan God, Beerus still enjoyed the fight and decided not to destroy the Earth, so Super Saiyan God was still important for the climax. In Resurrection F, Goku killed Frieza in his Super Saiyan Blue state, and Vegeta even beat Frieza out of his golden form after using Super Saiyan Blue. In the Tournament of Power, Goku eliminated Kefla with Ultra Instinct, and although he didn't beat Jiren with MUI, MUI still did most of the damage to Jiren, which is why Goku and Frieza were able to eliminate him. Even Gohan and Piccolo worked together to kill Cell Max with their new forms in the superhero movie. But with Super Saiyan 3, Goku doesn't defeat any of the Boos from the Buu saga at all. He did have a really good fight against Kid Buu at the end, but it was obvious that Kid Buu would have killed him eventually, so the only way to kill Kid Buu was to use the Spirit Bomb. I am glad that Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta defeated Tamagami 2 in Dragon Ball Daima, since that is the first and only win from Super Saiyan 3. But then when you go to the end of Dragon Ball Daima, Super Saiyan 4 was the main highlight and did most of the damage towards King Goma. So even though Vegeta using Super Saiyan 3 as a child and an adult was hype, I feel that those moments were still overshadowed by Super Saiyan 4. I feel like the best opportunity to have Super Saiyan 3 defeat the main villain was with Gotenks, because Gotenks was built up to be the ultimate fusion warrior that would defeat Majin Buu, so that would have been the best time to have Gotenks defeat him. But instead he defuses and Ultimate Gohan had to step in. And the last thing I want to talk about is the massive drawback of using Super Saiyan 3. Super Saiyan 3 is infamous for having such a huge stamina problem when using the form, which makes it impractical to use in battle. Notice how in Dragon Ball Super, Goku barely uses the form. He only used it against Beerus, and he showed it briefly to Caulifla during the Tournament of Power. Even when Goku was going through all his transformations against Jiren, he skipped Super Saiyan 3 and went straight to the Red God form after using Super Saiyan 2. When Vegeta was angry at Beerus for slapping Bulma, he only transformed up to Super Saiyan 2, even though he had Super Saiyan 3 at this point, since Dragon Ball Daima is supposed to take place between the Buu Saga and Battle of Gods. And I know there was a massive power creep in Dragon Ball Super, to where everyone is at God level now, but we still saw Goku and Vegeta use their regular Super Saiyan forms against numerous enemies in Dragon Ball Super. So it's because of the massive stamina problem that Goku and Vegeta don't ever bother to use the form again, because they could just use their stronger forms with fewer drawbacks, or they could just use their weaker forms to conserve their energy, and this just makes Super Saiyan 3 entirely useless in battle, which is a shame because I think Super Saiyan 3 is one of the best looking transformations in Dragon Ball. A way to solve this issue was if Goku and Vegeta could fully master the transformation, like they did with the first Super Saiyan form throughout the Cell Saga. Maybe they could attain a branched version of Super Saiyan 3 that gets rid of the stamina problem so they could use it in battles more. And that concludes all the main problems I have with Super Saiyan 3. The lack of build up and foreshadowing, the massive drawback with the stamina, and the form not defeating a main villain are why I think that Super Saiyan 3 wasn't as great as the other transformations.